These Fairlanes were fast, rare, and forgotten. Built with V8 power and muscle car spirit, they vanished from the spotlight, but now they're ready to roar back into collector fame. Welcome to Muscle Cars Revolution. Today we're revisiting the top 10 forgotten Fairlane muscle cars that deserve a comeback. From big block R-codes to elegant 500XL hardtops, these Fairlanes once ruled the streets and drag strips. We'll show you why each model deserves recognition and why values are climbing. Top 1. 1966 Ford Fairlane R-Code 427 4-speed. Lightweight. It looked like a polite mid-size sedan, but press the throttle and it turned into a ballistic missile. The 1966 Fairlane R-Code 427 Lightweight wasn't built for comfort, it was built to win the quarter mile. This street-legal factory weapon existed for one reason only: speed. From the outside, it wore standard 500 series Fairlane cues, stacked headlights, a wide chrome grille, and restrained trim. The cabin was stripped: bucket seats, a basic gauge cluster, a hand panner shifter. Many cars ditched radios, insulation, and even heaters to cut weight. Under the hood sat the legendary FE 427 cubic inch V8 with dual Holley 4-barrel carburetors on an aluminum intake, solid lifter cam, and sky-high compression. Output was a conservative 425 horsepower and 480 pound-feet of torque. It was paired to a top-loader 4-speed manual, a bulletproof Ford 9-inch rear axle with 4.11 gears, heavy-duty suspension, and oversized drum brakes. Lightweight fiberglass fenders, hood, and thin glass all shaved pounds. Every piece served one purpose: acceleration. On paper, it was just a Fairlane, but at the starting line, it was a disguised superstock racer. With slicks, it could run 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 5 seconds, and tear through the quarter mile in the low 12S at nearly 118 miles per hour. Only 57 units of the R-Code 427 Lightweight were produced for 1966, most equipped with the 4-speed. Every surviving car carries battle scars and victory stories. Many were destroyed during the race seasons. Survivors are now sacred artifacts. Once dismissed as too specialized, fully documented matching numbers cars can command $250,000, $400,000 at auction. With its total performance heritage, it's a true blue-chip investment: historic, brutal, and irreplaceable. But 2 years earlier, Ford unleashed an even louder, even lighter monster, built to legalize victory itself. In 1964, one name turned the dragstrip into legend. Top 2. 1964 Ford Fairlane Thunderbolt 427 Recode. In 1964, Ford didn't just build a car, they built a legend. The Fairlane Thunderbolt was a factory-sanctioned dragstrip assassin, stripped of comfort and stuffed with the biggest engine they could legally bolt in. It didn't whisper muscle, it screamed it. Based on the Fairlane 500 two-door sedan, the Thunderbolt ditched anything unnecessary for speed. It came with fiberglass hood, fenders and bumpers, acrylic side windows, and a simple interior: no rear seat, radio, or heater. Under the hood sat the fearsome 427 cubic inch FEV8, the same high-riser used in NASCAR, rated at 425 horsepower but actually closer to 500. Buyers could choose a 4-speed top-loader manual or a drag-spec automatic. With its 4.56 rear axle, lightweight body, and sticky slicks, the Thunderbolt was ready to annihilate the quarter mile the moment it left the showroom. Ford produced only 100 units, all to meet NHRA superstock homologation rules. On paper, it was a Fairlane. In reality, it was a full-blown race car. With a skilled driver, the Thunderbolt could run low 11-second quarter miles at 120+ miles per hour, an unheard-of number for a factory car in 1964. Most Thunderbolts lived hard and died young at drag strips. Survivors with matching numbers and original race history now fetch $250,000 to $500,000 at auction. This wasn't just a car. It was the machine that cemented Ford's dominance in the total performance era. But the Thunderbolt wasn't the only Fairlane to surprise competitors. Just a year earlier, Ford had already laid the groundwork with a lighter, high-revving K-code that's still misunderstood today. Top 3. 1963 Ford Fairlane 500 Sports Coupe 289 Hypo K Code. Before the Mustang, there was a Fairlane that quietly set the template for Ford's small-block performance cars. The 1963 Fairlane 500 Sports Coupe with the 289 Hypo K Code wasn't flashy, but it packed real muscle. And today, it's one of the most overlooked Fairlanes ever built. The Fairlane 500 Sports Coupe was a pillarless hardtop with clean lines and understated trim. Inside, it featured bucket seats, a console mount shifter, and full instrumentation, making it feel sportier than most Fairlanes of the era. What made the K Code special, however, was under the hood. Ford's new 289 cubic inch Hypo V8 delivered 271 horsepower thanks to a solid lifter camshaft, high-flow heads, 10.51 compression, and a 4-barrel carburetor. Buyers could pair it with a 4-speed top-loader manual and a performance axle, transforming the Fairlane from commuter to street fighter. Ford built only about 600 K-Code sports coupes in 1963, making them exceedingly rare. The Hypo engine was expensive and aimed at enthusiasts who understood its potential, so most buyers stuck with milder small blocks. The K-Code Fairlane could run the quarter-mile in the low 15-second range, a serious number for a mid-size hardtop in its day. Because production was so limited, most collectors overlooked these cars in favor of later Mustangs or Thunderbolts. Today, an authentic, matching numbers K-Code Fairlane can bring $60,000 to $90,000 at auction, especially with original drivetrain and documentation intact. But in 1966, Ford would unleash another Fairlane with big block torque, a 4-speed gearbox, and even fewer survivors, one that's even more coveted by serious muscle car hunters. Top 4. 1966 Ford Fairlane Z-Code 390 FE 4-speed. Not every big block Fairlane carried GT stripes or Cobra Jet badges. Some slipped under the radar entirely. The 1966 Z-Code 390 FE 4-speed was one of those sleepers. Quietly packing serious muscle while looking like a family commuter, the Z-Code could be ordered in either the Fairlane 500 or 500 XL trims, with simple chrome accents and the same squared-off profile as the base models. Inside, buyers could spec bucket seats, a console mount shifter, and a full-gauge package, but many cars left the factory with bench seats and column shifters. The real magic lay under the hood. The 390 cubic inch FE V8 produced 315 horsepower and 427 pound-feet of torque, more than enough to surprise unwary competitors. When paired with the optional top-loader 4-speed manual, a performance axle ratio, and heavy-duty suspension, the Z-Code became a genuine threat on the street and the strip. Ford built roughly 57,000 Z-Code Fairlanes in 1966, but only about 2,500 were ordered with the 4-speed manual. Most were driven daily, abused, or scrapped, leaving very few intact survivors. A well-driven Z-Code could hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in 7.2 seconds and run the quarter mile in the mid-15s, putting it squarely in muscle car territory. For decades, collectors ignored these cars in favor of GTs and R-Codes, making the surviving examples a bargain. But prices are climbing fast. A documented matching numbers Z-Code 4-speed can now fetch $45,000, $60,000, and rare color combinations or factory options push values even higher. Next came a Fairlane with more flash and attitude, GT badges, performance stripes, and the same big block spirit, and this one had its sights set squarely on the competition. Top 5. 1966 Ford Fairlane GT 390 4-speed 500 series with GT badges, wide grille, and a big block heartbeat. The 1966 Fairlane GT 390 4-speed looked like it belonged on Woodward Avenue. But while it carried the muscle car image, this Fairlane had the performance to back up its aggressive styling. The GT package transformed the Fairlane 500 into a street-ready performer. Outside, you got stacked headlights, GT emblems on the fenders, hood-mount turn signal indicators, and optional stripes that announced its intentions. Inside, the cabin was sportier than the Z-Code. Bucket seats, a full-length console, a floor-mount H-paneled shifter, and a full-gauge cluster. The power plant was Ford's 390 cubic inch FE V8, rated at 335 horsepower and 427 pound-feet of torque, paired with a robust, top-loader 4-speed manual transmission. heavy-duty suspension, and a Ford 9-inch rear axle helped it handle the extra muscle. On the dragstrip, a well-driven GT390 could run 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6.8 seconds, and a quarter mile in the mid-15s. Ford built around 18,000 Fairlane GTs in 1966, but only about 4,000 were equipped with the 4-speed manual. Many were daily drivers and didn't survive unscathed. Because they weren't as rare as the R codes, collectors often overlooked them, but originality is becoming harder to find. Today, matching numbers GT390 4-speeds are gaining traction in the market. Well-documented examples can bring $45,000, $65,000 at auction, especially those with rare factory options or colors. They offer a perfect blend of collectible value and usability. But Ford wasn't done refining the Fairlane's muscle car formula. Next came a fastback version with sleek lines, 390-inch grunt, and even fewer surviving examples today. Top 6. 1967 Fairlane 500 XL Fastback 390 GT. With its sweeping fastback roofline and big block power, the 1967 Fairlane 500 XL 390 GT looked like a full-sized bullet. It was Ford's answer for buyers who wanted more style than a sedan and more muscle than a Mustang. The 500 XL trim sat near the top of the Fairlane lineup. Outside, it featured stacked headlights, a wide grille, generous chrome trim, and optional GT stripes. The fastback roofline, shared with the Fairlane GT, gave it a sportier profile than its hardtop sibling. Inside, buyers enjoyed premium touches, bucket seats, a full-length console, wood grain accents, and available air conditioning. Under the hood was the 390 cubic inch FEV8, rated at 320 horsepower and 427 pound-feet of torque, paired with either a top-loader 4-speed manual or a heavy-duty automatic. Performance was respectable, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 7.5 seconds, and a quarter mile in the mid-15s. Ford built fewer than 3,000 fastback 390 GTs in 1967, making them significantly rarer than the sedans and convertibles. Most were driven hard or rusted away, and very few remain in original condition. The rarity and sleek styling make these cars highly desirable today, especially when equipped with the 4-speed. For years, the fastback Fairlanes were overshadowed by Mustangs and Torinos, but collectors are catching on. A fully documented 500 XL Fastback 390 GT can now fetch $55,000, $75,000, and concourse quality examples climb even higher. Their blend of rarity and big block torque makes them a hidden gem in the Fairlane world. But the 500 XL wasn't the only desirable Fairlane of 1967. One more variant combined GT style with automatic ease and big block punch, appealing to muscle car fans then and now. Top 7. 1967 Ford Fairlane GTA 390 S Code Coupe Convertible. In 1967, Ford gave Fairlane buyers a muscle car with manners. The GTA 390 S Code combined big block power, GT styling, and an automatic transmission for those who wanted speed without the clutch pedal. The GTA was essentially a Fairlane GT fitted with Ford's heavy-duty C6 automatic transmission. It carried all the GT visual cues: stacked headlights, bold grille, optional racing stripes, and GT emblems on the fenders. Inside, the GTA's bucket seats, console shifter, full instrumentation, and wood grain trim made it feel like a premium cruiser. Under the hood was the 390 cubic inch S-Code V8, rated at 390 horsepower and 427 pound-feet of torque. Buyers could also opt for a convertible version, making it even more appealing for those who wanted open-air motoring. Performance was strong, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 7.5 seconds, and quarter-mile times in the mid-15s. Ford produced about 18,000 GTA Fairlanes in 1967, with roughly 13,000 equipped with the 390 S-Code. Because the GTA leaned toward comfort and daily drivability, most were used hard and didn't survive intact. The convertible models, built in smaller numbers, are now especially rare and sought after. For decades, the GTA was overshadowed by manual-equipped GTs and lighter R-codes. Today, collectors appreciate the GTA's combination of big block performance and drivability. A well-documented S-Code GTA can command $45,000, $65,000, while restored convertibles often top $75,000 at auction. But the GTA wasn't the only Fairlane in 1965-1967 worth remembering. One particular 500XL convertible carried the same V8 swagger with a bit more sunshine, and it's next on our list. Top 8. 1965 Ford Fairlane 500XL 289 390 V8 convertible. In 1965, the Fairlane 500XL convertible offered top-down cruising with just enough muscle to turn heads. It was the car for buyers who wanted a taste of performance, wrapped in Ford's most elegant midsize body. The 500XL trim brought luxury touches, bucket seats, a full-length console, wood-grain dash accents, and bright exterior trim. As a convertible, it added an electrically operated soft top and extra reinforcement for rigidity. Buyers could choose from a range of V8 engines, starting with the 289 cubic inch small block and climbing up to the 390 cubic inch FE V8, which produced 315 horsepower and 427 pound-feet of torque. Transmission choices included a 4-speed top-loader manual, a 3-speed manual, or Ford's Cruise-O-Matic automatic. The 500XL convertible wasn't as hardcore as the GTs or R-codes, but with the 390 V8 and 3.5 gears, it could still deliver 0 to 60 miles per hour in 8 seconds, and quarter-mile runs in the mid-16s. Ford built roughly 14,500 XL convertibles in 1965, and most were ordered with milder 289 engines and automatic transmissions. As a result, big-block, 4-speed cars are exceptionally rare today. Many convertibles were treated as casual cruisers and were either scrapped or rusted out over the decades. Collectors are finally starting to notice the appeal. A fully restored 390-equipped 500XL convertible can now bring $50,000, $70,000 with 4-speed examples, commanding even more. Their combination of open-air elegance and period-correct muscle makes them an undervalued gem. But there's one Fairlane even more unassuming, a two-door sedan that hid real V8 power under its plain exterior. That survivor is next. Top 9. 1965 Ford Fairlane 500 Sedan 289 V8 Survivor. It didn't wear stripes or GT badges. It didn't have a flashy roofline or convertible top. But the 1965 Fairlane 500 Sedan, with the 289 V8, was the everyday workhorse that quietly delivered real performance potential. Today, surviving examples are far rarer than anyone expected. The Fairlane 500 Sedan was Ford's bread-and-butter midsize model. It featured a no-nonsense 2-door or 4-door body with modest chrome trim and a simple grille design. Inside, buyers found bench seats, basic instrumentation, and durable vinyl upholstery. Under the hood, however, things could get interesting. The optional 289 cubic inch V8 delivered up to 225 horsepower, with the 4-barrel carburetor and dual exhausts, making it a respectable performer in its class. Transmission choices included a 3-speed manual, a 4-speed top-loader manual, or the smooth Cruise-O-Matic automatic. Ford built roughly 25,000 two-door Fairlane 500 sedans in 1965, but most were purchased as daily drivers and treated accordingly. Few were ordered with the higher-up 289 engines, and even fewer survived the rust and hard use of the era. A clean, original car is now a genuine rarity. For years, collectors overlooked these sedans because they lacked the sporty image of the hardtops and convertibles. Today, however, their scarcity has driven values upward. A documented survivor with matching numbers can now bring $25,000, $35,000, and properly restored V8 4-speeds can exceed $40,000 at auction. But the final Fairlane on our list blends style, performance, and comfort in a way that makes it an instant classic. The 500 XL Hardtop was the top-trim Fairlane of its era, and it deserves a proper comeback. Top 10 1966 Ford Fairlane 500 XL Hardtop 289 390 V8. It was the top-trim Fairlane in 1966, long, low, and luxurious. The 500 XL Hardtop combined Ford's most stylish midsize body with real V8 muscle, making it a refined alternative to the GTs and R-codes. Yet today, it's one of the most forgotten Fairlanes. The 500 XL Hardtop offered upscale touches throughout: bucket seats with a full-length console, wood-grain dash inserts, bright exterior trim, and the distinctive pillarless roofline. Buyers could choose from the dependable 289 cubic inch small block or step up to the 390 cubic inch FE V8, producing 315 horsepower and 427 pound-feet of torque when paired with a 4-barrel carburetor. Transmission options included the 4-speed top-loader manual, 3-speed manual, or cruise-o-matic automatic. With the 390 V8 and performance axle ratios, the 500XL hardtop could run 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 7.5 seconds. Plenty quick for a premium Fairlane. Ford built roughly 27,500 500XL hardtops in 1966, but most were ordered with small block engines and automatic transmissions. 4-speed big block cars were far less common and often driven hard, leaving few well-preserved survivors today. Because it wasn't marketed as a pure muscle car, collectors ignored the 500XL for decades. That's changing. A clean 289 equipped example can bring $25,000, $35,000, while matching numbers, 394-speed cars push $45,000, $60,000 at auction. Restored examples with rare factory colors are climbing even higher. The 1966 Fairlane 500XL hardtop blends elegance and big block muscle like few others. Once overlooked, it's finally earning the respect and rising value it always deserved. These Fairlanes may have been forgotten for decades, but their rarity and muscle car DNA make them prime for a comeback. Which one would you bring back? Comment below and subscribe to Muscle Cars Revolution for more classic muscle car stories and investment worthiness icons every week.